Meet the Crew with your host, Lloyd Ellis.
Welcome back to Meet the Crew, and I'm your host, Lloyd Ellis. This is the place where you get an in-depth backstage look, more like conversation with the persons from the stage manager to the backline tech to the tour manager, bus driver, truck driver, everybody in between. We might even have a couple of artists here and there. But before we get into today's guest, there's a little bit of housekeeping that we must take care of. Please make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button so that way you can be notified who we have coming up next. The little algorithms show that there's quite a few of you that watch this and very few of you that actually subscribe. Hurts my feelings just a little bit. Wait a minute. Who was that? Is that our guest?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. What is your name, sir?
I have been called many names. One of them is Mark, and one of them was a ham sandwich once. So,
Ham sandwich.
ham sandwich.
Now, how did you get the nickname of ham sandwich?
Well, I was on tour with Earth, Wind, and Fire. We were doing maybe one of our first or second loadouts, and the monitor engineer could not remember my name, could not remember the name Mark. And he pointed at me and said, ham sandwich, go get those guys, strike those subs. The hell's a ham sandwich? Okay, fine. So it then stuck, and it's been bad at math, took the shoes off, I don't know, 10, 15 years of ham sandwich.
You forgot to count dirt underneath the toenails.
I cleaned them today. I showered. This week I have showered. Yep. Like every other week. Probably not. So
sad. So sad.
yeah.
I thought we were the Dirty Brotherhood. Who'd have thought?
No. I did shower this week, but there was a time less than a year ago when it wasn't as often. Wasn't a need. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't do anything. So
this is going to be a fun episode, y'all. So
I hope so.
Y'all, I have been living in this Kentucky for way too long, folks.
I have used the word y'all, and when I don't spell it correctly, my phone does correct it to y'all.
I'm going to call you what I normally call you. Hambone. Tell everybody where you're from.
Originally from upstate New York, Rochester, New York. Lived there for quite a while, went to school there. Then, let's see, where did I go? I got the great idea to move to Fort Myers, Florida, with a friend. I was there 9 days before I then left on tour and then came back 11 and a half months later and moved to Cleveland, Ohio. We were there for 10 months. We didn't like our car being broken into. My car was stolen. Where we lived wasn't the best, and I was gone all the time. So then the wife and I then moved to New Albany, Indiana. So the best way to describe that is just over the border of Louisville. And for all those that watch the other episodes, I always describe it as say it as fast and as dumb as you can. Don't use all the letters. There's no need. Louisville. Just get it out quick. So we live just over the border on the northern side of the dirty Ohio River, and it's pretty awesome here. We like it a great deal. We've been here now 13 years.
So, Ham, what is your current expertise in this industry of ours?
Currently, I am, it's tough to say. So a year ago, I hate this word, pivoted, and all of our business, live entertainment business went away, and we did online events. So we did pre-recording of speakers, came in from Coca-Cola with a PowerPoint presentation. We would record you kind of like we are right now, talking back and forth. And then we would stream them, put them all together and edit them and play them back, and people would watch. We've been doing that coming up on about a year now. And before that, I was an audio guy, front of house mainly. I took it to where it's easier to please 5,000 than 6. So I always liked front of house. Did monitors a couple of times, and not for me. I enjoyed. I had better odds pleasing 2,000 than 6. So, but
Yeah, those folks out there that don't know, Ham and I toured together solid 4 years, but have known each other before that a good solid 10, probably.
Yeah.
We're going on 12 years, maybe 13 now, but
I know I hid the grays. I cut it really short so you couldn't see the gray. So yeah.
For those of you out there, we were kind of a team. He was up front and I was at the stage, and yeah, he's right. It is pretty tough to appease those 6, and sometimes when you get into big metal bands, 9, but we're not going to go there. It is an artwork. It is a talent to do what we do for a living. And we both have kind of moved on from, well, not necessarily moved on. We both still have a passion for doing audio, but we've both have kind of grown in our careers to where we no longer have to crazily push boxes for a living and hurt our ears. We are both in the management field, running companies of our own. And with all that being said, how has that affected you professionally or even with your family, with us being in this craziness called COVID-19 right now?
Well, I mean, everything's fine. We're, everything's fine. We'll get through it. Everything's fine. I mean, it has affected a lot. We watched basically April through December's business go away. We were doing about 16, 18 shows over that time, and slowly we watched it all disappear. And as a business owner, it was bad. I'm not gonna lie, I had some dark days, some dark nights of where's the, how are you gonna keep the payroll open, and what are you gonna do? And never heard of this thing called unemployment, and when you watch all of your business go away, not much else we can do. And we got lucky that our partner company, Event Design New York, they had a great client still that wanted to do virtual shows, and we moved into those. And I spend 7 days a week doing that. We are forever busy with that, and we have on the horizon now. June is our first in-person show, so we'll see. Getting back to the actual question now. How is it affected? Well, kind of like you, never spent a lot of time at home.
Right.
We traveled. That's what we did, and I loved it, and I still love it. But when you got nowhere to go, take the kids to school, help them with homework, you make dinner. All right, what am I going to do on Wednesday now? Nothing's different. We didn't have a place to go, and this is the year that I've been home now. The most I've ever seen my wife of, she's gonna kill me for this, probably 11, 12, 13 years, something like that. So I have never seen her this much. I've never seen my kids this much. May of last year, they said, well, when are you gonna go out of town so we can miss you more? You're always here now. My wife would tell me, when are you going to go out of town? It's easier to, you come home and things are awesome, and okay, go back out of town now. We like our quiet times. So
unfortunately, and this isn't a bad thing, but how can I say this? The layman's really don't understand how our lives are and how the backbone that we have back home are. And we are a weird bunch, but we are a fun bunch. And there's a lot of times that when people look up, they're like, yeah, I get the same deal. And I've had several guests on the show that get the same sort of conversations with their significant others and their kids that it's like, all right, we love you, but it's now time for you to go back out on the road because you're crazy.
I can't tolerate you being home anymore. You are having dinner and you're chewing too loud or something like that. And they've never experienced that because I'd be home for 10 days. I would be gone for 3 months and not see them. And it was different. And it was something different that I had to then learn on. What do I do? What do I do all day? I don't know. I wake up, I load in, get ready, have lunch. We're going to have rehearsals at 4. We're going to run through the show. We're going to go to dinner at 6. We're going to go to the hot tub, play ping pong or something. We're going to do something fun. Well, I don't want to go to bed at 10 o'clock. No. So I had to learn, what do I want to do all day? And if you know me, I love Chinese food. So I learned to cook. I learned to cook some Chinese food, and I wouldn't order it again, but it was good. And then I got from Kevin from EDNY, got me obsessed with bread. So I am a baker. And if you have kids out there, you know of Daniel Tiger's neighborhood and Little Baker Acre. That's what my kids called me, was Baker Acre. Because I would make nice artisan loaves of bread, pizza, garlic knots, rolls, anything. I dabbled in bread. And at the time, bread flour was not around. So you would have to buy it in 50-pound bags.
Oh, wow.
And coming up on a year now, I've bought 2 already. So
I think I'm going to do a road trip and come get a loaf off of you.
You just let me know and I'll have it ready. So yeah,
Love it.
I became a baker just to fill the time, something to look forward to. It didn't help the waistline at all. But it was delicious. I have 5-gallon buckets in the house of just filled with flour, yeast, different baking things.
You and I are both daddies and have been for a long while. 2 of our kids are pretty much, 6 months apart, something like that, if not less than a year.
Yeah.
And we both can attest, because we both battled it at the same time. It's like daddy belly. So you got kids, because with all the touring and stuff that we did, it's like we travel, we were like fit as a feather. We're big guys, but we were still fit as a feather.
Yep.
You get kids and it's like, holy moly's donut shop, what is going on here?
And then they was like, go for a run with me. It's like, I don't run. No.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in running. I'll run to catering, but I'm not interested in running.
Yeah.
So that was different. And being home all the time and around them. And, all of a sudden my youngest does this annoying thing. And it's like, how long have you been doing that? And wife is like, oh yeah, you haven't been home. You have no idea. And it's like, oh. And I keep thinking, it's like, all right, well, we're going to go back June of last year. August. Nothing. Nothing's coming back. It's not fine. It's not fine anymore.
No, and that's a good perspective. I know that offline we were sort of having a little bit of a conversation about it, but I kind of want to bring it online if we can. Have you had to, in your time, try and find something else? And what was that?
Well, so the story we were talking about was in between tours, things had slowed down a little bit, and I was, everybody else, running out of money. I have another great one for that. We'll bring it all back later. But I went and applied at a car wash on a Monday, got an interview on Tuesday. Thursday, I heard back from them saying I was unqualified to dry cars. And I couldn't believe it. I'd done nothing else in my life except for audio at the time. I was lucky enough to where I worked at Eastman Kodak Company in high school on a path of kids that don't want to go to college. And I was working in the basement. It was winter in Rochester, New York, which is awful. It's dark at 4:30. And I realized I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So, I changed and went to school, and I guess you could say the rest is partial history. So to bring it back to current, I applied to a local grocery store. I don't mind staying up late. I can work late, no big deal. That I could be up with the kids, whatever. Yeah, I can't stock shelves. I'm unqualified to stock shelves. And that hurt. That I think really hurt of like, is this all I can do? And I love doing it. I can't think of anything else I would rather do than audio or production in any way whatsoever. But I'm unqualified to stock shelves. So
That's a tough one to swallow because there's a lot of it out there and we're just not talking about it. And that is the point of this show, to have those conversations. Some of them are going to be pretty, can we say, tough conversations. We like to have fun in what we do, and we are a definite different breed of folks out there. I can't sit in a cubicle. It will drive me crazy.
Yeah, I can't. I got into this business because I didn't want a real job. I don't want to be polite. I don't want to have to worry about, sound awful. I don't want to have to worry about sexual harassment. I don't care. I want to have fun. I do not want to work in an office. I don't want to put on dress clothes. If you know me, my dress clothes is a pair of Dickies and a t-shirt. Right here. That's it. That's it. Unless you pay me, I'm not wearing pants. And I have never wanted to do that. I don't have that ability. I don't have that desire to hold back or be friendly in that way. I enjoy being out on the road. I enjoy joking around, taking it probably too far, but I'm not going to offend you. It's fun, So
a lot of folks out there don't get this mindset that we all have on the road.
Yeah.
We've dabbled in this conversation a little bit on other episodes, but we used to have this saying, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not making fun of you, I don't like you.
Absolutely. If I didn't hurt your feelings, I don't want to talk to you then. If I feel that I can't tell you a joke that's a little too far, we're not friends then. We're not. And I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I can't trust you to go into the trenches with me.
Yep.
And there's been a lot of times to where we, unfortunately, I'm not going to name names, Cleveland, when you get into those situations where it's like, hey, I can't park my car. Hey, I can't load in an event because the local, no, we're not going to do that. Yes, we're going to say it, but we're not going to say it. Or we have issues with a lot of the locals because a lot of the locals walk around and they're like, hey, I'm this and I'm that. And you got to sometimes knuckle up.
Yeah.
And if you can't have a thick enough skin in this industry and know that, hey, there's going to be a lot of jawing that goes back and forth between the tour folks, the local folks, and even between the tour folks against the tour folks. And a lot of times you almost have a safe word, if not so to a certain extent, but it's like, yes, I'm going to talk shit. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm going to mess with you.
I'm glad you cussed first. It was coming. I was trying to hold it back.
That's okay, because I didn't say it in housekeeping, but I'm going to say it again now. We don't really care about that monetization or that copyright stuff, because in these conversations, a lot of that stuff's going to be thrown out the window, because again, this is the lifestyle that we live. This is the people that we are with day in, day out. We are the ones behind the scenes that make these events that everybody wants to go see, whether it be your corporate event, to your bar club, to, heck, you and I have done it, your Christian tours. We've done a lot of them and everything in between. And a lot of folks don't get it out there that the folks behind the scenes and half of the band members on stage, unless you're the artist up front, we all are in the market together. We all do these events on all genres together. It is a very large industry, but it is a very small industry when it comes to those behind the scenes.
Yep.
I had another guest, and we kind of mentioned this, if it's like Kevin Bacon, the 6 degrees of separation. If I know 1 or 2 people, I'm going to be able to connect you up with possibly the right person to get your event to come off without a hitch.
Yeah.
And I know that I pride myself, and I know for sure that you pride yourself on the rapport that you have with your clients and your team. And if you don't have, first off, the rapport with your team, your client's going to suffer and you're not going to make any money. And I'm the same way. I tried college, went through it. I'm a few hours shy of graduating. You did graduate. But we both have been able to provide for our families by doing something different. We, at one point in time, yes, when we were starting out, it was tough. It was check to check. But now, well, up until a year ago, there was room to breathe. We are business owners. We hire folks, and it feels good to be able to be in the position of hiring folks to do events. And with all this COVID stuff now, it is like, man, I hated that feeling living check to check. I'm sitting right now in my studio space that is above my garage. And when we moved in, I was like, my daughter calls this place our mansion, our castle. And I'm like, that's the most awesome feeling in the world, to have your kid call your home your castle. You know, I never growing up lived in a house this big. I'm not going to tell you how big it is, but just put it this way. It's on a 10,000 square foot plot, which isn't huge, but it's a decent sized home. I have a wife, 2 kids, 2 crazy dogs that are probably barking in the background. I had a couple of vehicles in the driveway. You know what I mean? It is some toys. It is, we work hard, but we also play hard. And there's too many careers out there that haven't even began to like come close to how hard it is being hit in the entertainment industry as it is right now.
Yeah.
We were always those folks out there when people would want, I'm going on vacation or I'm going on holiday. We're the ones that are working during those times so people can have things to do. A lot of people would be like, man, you've missed all these special events here and there. And I'm like, yeah, but who do you think has to work to put those together so you can enjoy those? I find it prideful for being able to do stuff like that, right?
I always remember working with another company here in Louisville of, you worked on holidays so that everybody else could go and enjoy them. We would do 4th of July shows on the waterfront. I couldn't remember the last time I had a 4th of July off. So maybe 2020, but it's just, you work on them. You work on holidays so that everybody else can enjoy them. And if you get the opportunity to bring your family to wherever you are working or something like that, they get to hang out for the day. You know, it's one of the greatest things. Used to take my dog to the 4th of July shows on the waterfront here in Louisville. He'd sit in my chair out in front of the house, just watching the world go by as working. Or if my kids could come down and see, this is what daddy does. You're right. You are off from school, but it's a work day. Right. You know, there are no, it's either a work day or a non-work day. There's no days off.
I remember doing Abbey Road on the River, and that's another one of those festivals on the other side of where the 4th of July festival happens. It's on the Indiana side, the side that you live in. And
the good side.
I remember my daughter coming up, and again, it's family oriented. And I remember telling our basically client that, hey, my daughter's coming up, and they're like, that's not a problem at all. Here's space for her. And they had brought out kiddie pools because everybody brings their kids to these events, especially on holidays, because they know that we are away from our immediate away from our immediate families, and they want to try and make that an experience for everybody. And I remember running monitors at the festival and my daughter playing in a big kiddie pool off the side of the stage and drawing more attention than the band that was on stage at one certain point in time. But that's what it's about. You know what I mean? It is about experiencing life as much as you possibly can. And it's tough not being able to do any of that right now.
Oh, it's pretty awful. I am a person that needs to hear a kick drum. I love doing corporate work. I like the challenge. I came from a music background. I can't play a single instrument, not a single one. I can mic any instrument you put in front of me and make it sound good.
Yeah.
But I have to hear a kick drum. I have to hear it. I have to feel it. That sense of that calms me, and I get anxious and I get nervous when I can't hear music, live music. Wasn't that long ago that I got obsessed with watching YouTube for old music, for seeing an entire concert, watching Nine Inch Nails. I watched like 8 or 9 Nine Inch Nails concerts, Slipknot. God, do I love Slipknot. But I have to hear it. I have to feel it. I have to turn the lights off, turn the sub up way too much to where you just feel it hitting you. And that calms me for the ability to then go and sit in a ballroom for 12 hours a day. I have to have that. And I found that I haven't had enough music lately, and I'm missing it, and I'm really wanting it to come back soon, hopefully.
Another portion that I want to chime in on before we started actually rolling, where we might have been doing some B-roll at that point in time, but we are very similar, and that's why we get along so well. You asked me, can you hear the music in the background playing? And I'm like, no, but I don't care, because we're not here about the monetization copyright. Do what you got to do, because I constantly got to have something playing in the background also.
Yeah.
And I also remember a fun time that we had to where I think we had just got done doing a corporate event, but we had lined it up probably a day in advance. I think I surprised you and was like, yeah, so I got us some passes for ICP and Cottonmouth Kings. Remember that when we at the ballroom at a hotel here in town, which was kind of crazy. But
what was the name of that? A real crappy hotel.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of it.
Like that, but they had a huge ballroom that they would try and do concerts in. But
Yep.
people were like, that we were working with for the day, they were like, what are you guys amped out about? And we're like, we're going to see a band. We're like, you guys work with bands? We're like, no, we still
go see it. Yeah.
We still do. And
yeah, I love going to see shows. I love working shows. I still gotta go see them. I still have to. I don't turn my mind off, but I still have to go and watch them. I still want to always constantly see what is somebody else doing. What is, what are they using for video? I can't not pay attention to what audio console, lighting console, switcher. What are you using? How are you using it? Because I always want to make something better. It can always be better.
Right.
And I do remember going to see that ICP show and walking out with Fago halfway up my shoes. And it was the greatest thing in the world. And you don't get to see them that often. And they don't come to the Louisville area much, and you can't beat it. But I want to go see that. I want to go see Tom Petty. I want to go see Slipknot. I want to see everything. I want to know what everybody is doing. I want to know, how are you using this piece of gear? How are you using this video to integrate with lighting? I want to see it. I want to always learn something new. So
us going to events to soak up what other people are doing and to learn, just jog something in my brain that I need to get out. I rarely paid for a show in my tenure.
Yeah.
And I'm going on 24 years professionally making money doing this. And I think when this all does come back, I'm going to try harder to actually at least buy a ticket, even though I have carte blanche at any event that I go to. 9 times out of 10, I get a all access pass, but I'm still going to make a point to try and buy a ticket, even though I'm going to have that, because it's a struggle right now. And the folks out there need the income coming in for these events. And it's just going to change a lot of what's happened in the past year and a half now, year and a quarter now, has changed my mindset on how I look at a lot of things. And it's for the better, for the most part, not everything. Message. But yeah, man, I want to say it. I greatly appreciate you coming on the show and having this deep conversation, but fun conversation. Before I let you go, though, we are coming to that part, which is a gut check for everybody. If there is one and one thing only that ham sandwich must tell the world, what might that be?
Wash your damn hands. Wash your hands. That's it. Put a mask on, wash your hands. And go get vaccinated. Whether you have a belief or not, that's cool. If you can, please do it. Because we want to go back to work. We were not deemed essential workers, and I could disagree with that. But we want to go back to work. You want us to go back to work. You absolutely want concerts and everything to come back. Then just go wash your hands. Wear a mask. Because I've spent a year in my basement, and I'm done. I want to go out. I want to go play in the sunshine. I want to go load subs into a field and, blow leaves off trees with metal. I want to go do shows. So,
Most definitely.
Wash your damn hands. Just, if you haven't done it yet, just go wash your hands. We'll wait. I'll wait. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Everybody, we're going to pause for a moment.
Pause. Yep.
Did you wash them?
You better have.
We're going to kick your ass if you didn't.
I will. So.
You filthy animals, as the little 11-year-old boy would say. Mark, again, thank you for coming on Meet the Crew. And how can folks reach out to you if they want to have one of these conversations, they want to hang out, or hire you for some work? Just saying.
So here's the thing. I don't do social media. I was watching all the other ones. They're like, oh, I have Instagram and Facebook. No. Let's see here. You'll spell all this out, hopefully, in the end, because it's a long one. Mark at 1080-productions with an S.com, 1080 Productions. Yeah, that's it. I don't do social media. Yeah, just not into it. So, yeah.
I got off social media probably 7 years ago, and I had to relaunch it all to help spread the word of all of this.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much my mindset of, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's pick up a phone. I hate texting. Let's actually have a real quick conversation, because if you got to text me a paragraph, just call me real fast, unless I'm in an event, but that's not happening right now.
Yeah.
It's that old school, I guess, mindset of I don't want people to know what's really going on in my head at all times, or see everything.
If you knew what in here, it's unsettling. It's a loose cannon at all times, and certain things keep it from exploding. Like we talked about earlier, music playing in the background, always gotta have music to keep it calm.
Bring it down 1,000.
Yeah,
well,
there's too many voices, and just they're all opinionated, and I don't like their opinions anymore. So.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the man, Ham Sandwich.
Let's go.
I am Ham Sandwich, and you have now met the crew.
Meet the crew with your host, Lloyd Ellis.